The STL Hockey Fan Podcast is presented by Interstate 70 Sports Media Group. I-70 strives to give you the best sports coverage in the tri-state area. Find them on Facebook or at interstate70sports.media. Dogtown Pizza. If you haven't had a Dogtown Pizza, you are absolutely missing out. There is nothing better than coming home from work or school or wherever you're stuck at for the day, throwing a Dogtown Pizza into the oven for pretty much no time at all, and enjoying that St. Louis-style greatness. With selections like a classic pepperoni, the 4-meat, the deluxe, and the veggie, there's a perfect pizza for everyone. The best part is knowing you're supporting a local St. Louis business and family. Dogtown Pizza has partnered with our beloved Blues, but also with other prominent St. Louis figures like Steve's Hot Dogs. And it's run by the Shaper family, St. Louisans through and through with a decade in the business. My family and I had 2 of these bad boys today in preparation for this, and they turned out incredible. Just look at that cheese. Bottom line, if you're looking for a pizza you'll love, from a local company you can trust, run by a family you can relate to, go to dogtownpizza.com, find a store near you, and go get one. Thanks again to Dogtown Pizza for sponsoring this podcast. Let's go get a pizza, and let's go Blues. Welcome to the STL Hockey Fan Podcast. My name is Corey. This is Jesse. And guys, it hasn't gone well. So let's go through the previous games that, we missed as, we were not recording every day.
It's a weekly podcast, and they play several games throughout the week, so it's kind of hard to do it all at once, And
they're about to up it to 84 games, so get ready for more of this.
Yes.
So there were 4 games. We had the Kings. That was an OT loss.
Yep.
So you got your point, but you really wanted that one, and you really wanted the one before it, the Sharks.
You wanted the San Jose one, 100%. Like, I went in there with, high expectations out of the Blues.
Same.
Those are going to hurt in the long run.
And I think that's right now. I think it's finally catching up.
Yeah.
And we've got the Ducks after, which they pull out a 6-2 win.
Heck of a win.
I mean, just the difference of all of the both Sharks games and then the Kings game, super close, really competitive, just battles. And then to the Ducks, they just blow them out.
Smashed them. But we were watching that game kind of together, at the same time. And as we were going, and they won, what was it, 6-2 was the final score or something like that. And I said, well, this is going to give them the motivation into the next game, which it did.
And that was the Avalanche. This one in Colorado. This goes straight back to another real competitive, close battle. But actually, and to my surprise, and of course I put that on the internet, so that's on me. To my surprise, they win. They win 3-2.
Very well. They won very well. Like, it was not a question of anything at that moment. I mean, we had 2 Colorado players smash their sticks that night. Pretty sure one against Hofer's net and then one against their own bench. McKinnon was not happy with the results. He was not happy with the play, and they made the adjustment for last night.
Yes, because the Avs come in to Enterprise Center and they beat the Blues 3-1. It was disappointing. So now I'm going to go ahead and throw it out there. I still think, even though it's a glimmer, I still think they fall within the 7-2-1. I still think 88 points. So right now they are 1-2-1.
Yes.
So we still have, who's next? Winnipeg,
and then Chicago.
Yep. So first, do we think those are winnable games?
Winnipeg, I don't know. Like, I feel like Winnipeg is kind of a rare psychological game for the Blues. And Bitter should be starting this because Hofer started 3 in a row. And so I would imagine Binner's playing this game. And so is it more of a psychological, thing on his mind where, oh, it's the Jets and the 1.7 second thing is replaying in his mind? I don't know, but I feel like the Blues have this game considering how well they did against Colorado the first game, and now they have something to make up for it in this Winnipeg game. So that's how I feel about the situation. It's all just, is Benny going to perform?
So I can't remember where I saw it. So I'm sorry, I don't cite my sources here. I saw on a video somewhere they were basically asking if Hofer would get the remainder of the starts. It was on 101 ESPN. Jeremy Rutherford was saying that basically you have the back to back. That's after the two games we're talking about here. So you would assume that Benner gets one of those, but they're kind of assuming that Hofer's going to get the rest of the starts. And if that's the case, I don't think that's a horrible idea against Winnipeg because you kind of want to eliminate the psychological aspect of it with Benner because I feel like maybe he can get in his own head sometimes. Now, sometimes if he gets in there, he locks in and it's
I
insane.
know.
But I don't
Do
know
I
if this
look
is
nervous?
right.
Right.
I
Yeah.
don't know if this is one of those moments. So I'm okay if Hofer gets that start. Then you have Chicago, and I honestly I can't remember. Is it in Chicago?
Yeah.
Chicago's already eliminated. While the rivalry isn't like fully booming anymore, I would say they would love to play spoiler, just to try and drag the Blues down even more. What do you see?
I see 5 difficult games coming up. And regardless of whether or not Chicago wants to play that spoiler or not, they're a young team. They got good talent. They got old Bedard there, who's actually kind of like turned heel a little bit. He's kind of being a pest to a lot of dudes. And we talked about funny clips and such. One of the things they played Seattle the other night, I believe it was Seattle, and he skated by in front of the goalie and just knocked the goalie stick out of his hands. And they may be friends. They may have played together since they were 12. I don't know. But that's what we're kind of starting to see, the development of Bedard as not necessarily a follow up to, let's say, McDavid, but his own self. And so why not be a superstar, but also be kind of a pest as well, right? Like it kind of makes
I
sense.
I dig it because it sets up a cool kind of face off between, no pun intended, between him and Snuggerud.
Yes.
Um, and man, I would love to see it. Now, one, I would love to see just the skill level. Like, I would love to see Snuggy go out there and just outscore Bedard. And I mean, everyone, to be honest. But I would love if Bedard got into, some type of scrum, Snuggy get in there and get him out of there. Like, I
Yes.
would love a OV Crosby type rivalry between them. That would be amazing.
It would be. And looking forward, you know, Chicago and St. Louis, they play a handful of games every season. But I think we need to not necessarily worry about Chicago, but speaking of Crosby, we got him next Tuesday. And,
Yep.
he's back, he's playing and doing well. So we got
Who would have
Minnesota
guessed?
before that.
Yep.
And then the Penguins, and then we close out the regular season on Thursday with the Utah Mammoth.
Yeah,
So
I honestly think if you're going about strength, like if you're thinking strength of schedule here, Winnipeg and Chicago, like you should have. Now that I'm not talking about these are must wins. Like
no,
you
but
have
you
to have all of them.
should.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yes, you should have those ones. Minnesota and Pittsburgh, that's cranking it up a little bit, and I think Utah is kind of a blues killer. So
Well,
I
you
am
you got that what's his name on there? Um
well. There's Cooley,
and Keller.
Keller. That's it.
Yeah, that dude is the blues killer. Born and
Yes.
raised Chesterfield, Missouri, yet he still comes and just slaughters his home team every
Yep.
dang time, you know? So,
Man, if we could get, I would love to get the Kachuk brothers, get both of them, and then get Keller.
yeah.
Like get all the hometown boys and see if you can do something killer.
Well, you look at this remaining schedule, and I'm not sure if Winnipeg has one of like the stars or whatever, but in the league. But you got Chicago with Bedard, you got Minnesota with Jack Hughes, you got Penguins who have
Oh,
several
Quinn Hughes,
between.
Quinn
Yeah,
Hughes.
Quinn Hughes, sorry, yeah, but still part of the gold,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then you got Crosby, you got Malkinen, and whoever else, and then you got Utah that has those dudes
Yeah,
that we were
and
just
there
talking
you've
about.
got Cooley,
So,
you've got Keller. But also don't forget in Minnesota you've got Kaprizov.
yep,
Um, so and if you ask me if you want to talk about a star for Winnipeg, you can go Kyle Connor. Um,
yes, yeah.
that guy, he's good. He's also a blues killer. Um, and he's always the one I worry about in Winnipeg.
You
Um,
know, let's talk about internal blues killers for a moment because I got one guy on my list.
hit me.
His number is 25.
Yeah,
But more importantly, his most important numbers are the last 4 games, and he's a -3.
yep.
And that's old Jordan Cairo. What are we doing, guy?
Yeah, and man, it's visible. You know what I mean? Like
Yep.
I don't really see a whole lot of hustle. Like it's in spurts that he's gonna go out and like really mimic, and it sucks that he has to mimic him, but Jimmy Snuggerud where he'll get in front of somebody on the forecheck to get that puck. He's quick. He uses his speed, and that's the thing. It looks like Kyrou just stopped using his speed. He's turnover king. Like it's insane. And I listened to the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN, and they talked to Monty, and Monty was saying, that Kyrou has had his chances to score, and he's just missed. Um, and man, for one of our 8x8s, basically one of our stars, one of our
Yeah.
top players offensively, like it.
That should be our Bedard in general sense,
Yeah,
aside from Snuggie. Yeah.
yeah, and I've seen he had a couple of like point blank chances. And now, don't get me wrong, Thomas has had a lot of those too, where it's just a banner reader, but um, he's had a lot of point blank chances, Kyrou, and he's just not burying them. And it's not like he's throwing them into the pad or into the chest, or he's hitting posts or anything like that. He's just
He
not
did
hitting the
throw one
net.
into the chest last night. Or I believe it was last night. But
I bet I fast forward through it. I bet
well,
I did.
to touch back a little bit, like he's getting about 15 minutes on average per game, right? And that's taken 15 minutes away from goal scorers. And not
Yeah,
like we have a ton of them, but we do have a heck of a line right now with, Snuggie, Thomas, and Holloway. And when Holloway first joined with us, him and Kyrou, it was amazing. They played well together. You were watching them have fun on the ice. So did they steal his line mate and now he's lost? Or can he just not find himself?
that's a very good question about the
I
line
guess,
mate. Because
yeah, yeah,
well, right now he's on a line with, I believe, Dvorsky and is it Suter?
yes, yep.
So, I mean, those guys can score. Now, they're not the, I would say, elite passers of like Snuggerud and Thomas. Holloway, I don't see do that crazy stuff. He's more of a like get in there and just get it in the net himself.
He's
Um,
pretty chaotic at times. He
yeah,
jams himself in there, and well, what was it? Not the Kings game. A couple games before that, when he came in and
yeah, it
finished it
was the
off
Sharks
there.
Sharks one.
Yeah,
He
yeah,
just
beautiful.
backhanded it from no space, no room.
What a strange
Like
angle too,
yeah,
but those
like
are
we
that's what
were
we need.
yes. Yeah, it's the
Yeah,
guy to come off the bench, get on the ice and just make a difference.
make a
And
difference.
right now, I mean, right now you've got Robert Thomas doing that, obviously with the help of Snuggie and Holloway. But like think about it in the last game where the Avalanche beat the Blues, there was one goal and who got it? It was Robert Thomas.
Yes.
So he's really carrying it right now. But I said it in a past video. We need more. We there's no depth. There's no depth scoring.
No,
Um,
I had this conversation about the Colorado Avalanche game and their depth, and it goes into the parking lot, and
it's
we
outrageous.
the Blues, their depth goes to the restroom outside of gate 112. It's 50 feet from the ice. That's as far as we get, which is
Yep.
terrible because where's this coming from? Why can't they capitalize on the opportunities that are given to them every game, every shift? The ice is wide, the ice is long. Take your opportunities, get it the pass to the guy without it getting picked off, and we'd have a solid team right now. And yet it's just not happening. We have our top
No.
what 3, 4 guys that score goals, and they're on the same damn line.
Yeah, and to be honest, I don't hate the like the style of or like yeah, this the style of play that they've got going right now where it's like it's basically just shut down defense and
Yes.
then just try and I know this is the object of the game, but just try to outscore them. Just try to suppress and try to outscore. And like you've got these games against, the Kings and the Sharks and even the one against the Avs and like they're so close, you know what I mean? You've got they're basically just scoring about 2 goals and then you if you can get 3, and that's not a lot. You know what I mean? Like that's
No.
a kind of low scoring affair. If you can get 3, you win the game.
Yeah.
So like I I hate that they lost that last one against the Avs because I just feel like they really had it. I
But
did.
they're also keeping with the stats of Hofer, who allows 3 goals against. Well, 3.09, I believe, was the stat for the Blues
Yeah.
total. But it's on Hofer at this rate, and
Uh,
so yeah, you take away that, and you have your 3 goals against. We need a heck more offense, and
yes.
when we see these flashes like the game, what was it, Saturday against the Maple Leafs, and
Yeah.
everybody scoring and this, that, and the other. And then, the last 3, 4 games, it's been one line. So
Yep.
yeah, it's interesting how opportunities present themselves if you force it. And these guys
Right.
aren't much for force and stuff right now.
Not right now, no. Let's go to Armstrong, the guy at the top. You hit me with a little fun fact earlier. Can you kind of do that again?
Yeah, for sure. At the end of the season last year, uh, they had their press conference. He said, I expect the 2025-26 Blues to be 5% better than they were last year. I'm not sure exactly what the Blues closed out at last year as far as points go, but they had a playoff berth. So
Yep.
enough to get in there, right? This year, we are at 13% worse than what we should have been, according to Doug Armstrong. And that range is vast. If the Blues lose out the next 5 games, now we're at a 25%, almost 25% difference compared to what he said, a negative amount.
And
So
that's
it starts at the top.
yep. Yeah, and I would say he's certainly tried. I feel like on paper it just looks like a panic.
Right.
Um where you thought you were coming into the season just dominant
We've
Um,
added so much this season,
yeah,
and half those guys are gone now, but we did give
yeah,
them a shot. Like,
right.
we have thrown guys at this problem.
Yep. And let's see. So I heard an interview where, Armstrong, he's talking about as long as he is, making the team better, that he will still be here. If he's not making the team better anymore, that's when he'll leave. Well, is that now? Because, you've got a guy ready to take over. You've got opportunities, which we can get into that later, but, you know, it is now the perfect time.
Is it perfect timing on his part where he knew that, like, hey, this class coming up is not really worth like losing these top picks for drafts, or bringing in Fabry, who's like a dated player and stuff like that. Did he plan it out to where now you can point the finger at him instead of Steen moving forward?
Now that's some
And
psychological stuff.
I'm just saying, are they playing 4D chess that we're not aware of? It's a big league. It's a lot of players, and there's a lot of games and a lot of money at hand. So I don't know the answer to these questions, Corey. What it boils down to.
Man, I don't know. So he's got 3 years remaining as president of
President,
hockey
yeah,
operations. I don't know. I just wonder if there's a point if, obviously like right now is kind of a reach. Um
yes,
but he's also the kind of guy that he said Drew Bannister, is our guy right now. And
yeah,
then whenever Monty was up, he was like, so Monty is our guy right now. You know
right.
what I mean? So like I don't put it past him to switch up if a good opportunity presents itself. But I guess, speaking of good opportunities, a long time ago in a fantasy land now of all Blues fans had in is 2019, and that is bringing Benner into the fold and all of that wonderful miracle stuff that happened. And right now, how many years later? Like 6 years later now,
6, 7 years, yeah.
6, 7 years. Say that again. Um, he is now nominated for the Bill Masterton.
Yep,
Which do you got the description of
I
what
do.
that rewards?
The trophy itself is awarded annually to the NHL player who best exemplifies the qualities of perseverance, sportsmanship, and dedication to ice hockey. It's a mouthful to say. It's even
Yeah,
more to prove on the ice. Okay.
absolutely.
And for Benner to be nominated for Team Canada, two big things in a row. You got the Four Nations, and then you have the Olympics, obviously. And obviously, Benner gets some of the most unwarranted hate in the league. Yeah, he
Agreed.
threw a bottle at Kadri because he injured him. Okay. And
Yeah.
then what? He gets a little heated under the collar when dudes are, cramping his style. I I I want a goalie that's going to have that little bit of
Yeah.
fire, you know? And so does he exemplify as far as the perseverance? Maybe not so much as regular season sportsmanship. It's hard to say. It's just due to what I just said. But the dedication to ice hockey, yeah, dude shows up every day, regardless. And I've told you this
Yeah.
before, watching at games, watching Benner, he's watching that puck and he is enthusiastic about the play on the ice. Yeah, I mean, every team nominates a player, right? And the Blues chose him. So,
Yeah, I
yeah.
don't think it's a bad choice. He yeah, in terms of a sportsmanship, I would say he's showing it right now in the sense of he's not the starter and he's not complaining about it as far as we
Right.
know.
Yeah.
Um he's being the Jake Allen that was to him, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, he was a good teammate whenever Bennington took over the role.
Mhm.
Um, at least as far as I know. Do you have different information or something?
No, I don't. I just
Oh,
to
okay.
hear that is just
Oh, that name,
funny.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Eh,
but, apparently, like, he mimicked the, opposing team's goalies in practice and all that stuff. He was never the starter, but he still did his job. So I feel like Binnington right now is kinda showing that, just being a good teammate while Hofer is kind of taking that spotlight.
I guess I guess
So
they really had the option between like Benner and Pareko or something like that for that role, right? Um,
yeah,
as far as that nominee goes, I don't know if it's typically just geared towards goalies or not, but
I
either
don't
way,
think so because I think
yeah.
one of them said that, a winner was Sean Monahan, so
Okay, yeah.
he's not a goalie, so,
No,
alright, so let's bring this to another big positive note, for all Blues fans and hockey fans alike. Kelly Chase now in remission. Now, I'm not a doctor, okay? But I take this for what it's worth, and I am amazed, just thrilled that he's still here.
yeah.
Like, and for the most part, like he puts on like all these events and he like goes and makes all these appearances and like the guy is just tough as nails, dude.
He truly is, and I mean, can he get nominated for the Masterton
Right? Yeah.
award? Because
You'd have to
you
give
look
him
at
8 of them.
well, you looked at the St. Louis Blues Hall of Fame inductees this year, and he got the True Blue
Yes.
award, and I mean that was the whole thing was an homage to Kelly Chase. All his former players, everybody got up there and they said, "That's our dude. Look at him go." And I feel the same. When I got that notification yesterday, I sent it to you and four other people because that was just going to lift them up for the rest of the night and be like, holy
Yep.
crap, Kelly Chase is in remission because he is not only a former Blues player, but the award he got, he's a true Blue. That goes a long way, especially with our alumni. He's always going to be that dude. And it's amazing to hear anything positive come from that front because for so long we
Yeah.
didn't hear anything negative. He just would kind of fade away from the limelight a little bit. But I mean, my gosh, that's such positive news, man.
And you can be like sad about the loss that happened and all that stuff, but like if anything, please like just think about that. You know what I
Yep,
mean?
yep,
Like it's just okay. So let's actually close this out. So
yes,
I you are interested in the NHL bracket and I am too.
yes, but I
Um
don't know where to start.
yeah,
It's
well,
like you know,
and I mean, we don't have matchups yet. So
not yet.
um
And also, we'll include a link in our description as far as a bracket that you can join on our team. Not that it being with us doesn't make any difference as far as points and stuff goes. Everybody
right,
has
right,
an
right.
opportunity to win a watch from the NHL, I believe, but for like
I
a
was
good
about to say.
bracket. But as far as us goes, let's get some engagement going. Anybody
Yeah, yeah.
interested, click that link and we can start our own bracket and have something to talk about in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days. You know,
It is creeping up, man.
yeah.
Let's just go wild prediction here. Pick a team to win the Stanley Cup that's not the Blues.
I think McDavid's due. I don't know if they're in yet, but my
I I
gosh.
I think they're pretty close.
Yeah, and
I think
Drysdale
they're
is
in that
still
run.
out, but I think he's getting ready to come back. They just lost last night to the Utah Mammoth in overtime. I think this final score was 6-5, but McDavid really showed up and he's chasing that. And we've talked about this before from his college team to the Oilers making to the game 7 the past 2 years and then
Yep.
fall short to the Olympics. Yeah, they won the what is it, the Four Nations,
Yep.
but that's not
That's
the
not what they
one.
want. No.
No. And to touch on that real quick, as far as the Four Nations go, So the Blues have accelerated in the second half of the season. I'll say second half because there's that split between 2 years ago we had the Four Nations. This year, I guess, we had the Olympics. Next year, we don't have a break. There's no big extended break.
Is there
Will we
not?
see this? No, they'll have like their week or whatever for the All-Star game, but it won't be that.
I don't, and maybe we don't get off on this tangent, but man, I don't want an All-Star game.
No, nobody does. They want to see another Four Nations, expand it, make it a Six Nations thing, whatever. Like,
well, and
the
they're
NHL,
about to do
seen it.
they're about to do basically the World Classic of it in
Yes.
2028. But
Oh,
anyways,
and there's also another thing too, like the Seattle Kraken and somebody else are playing in like Finland for like
nice.
world. Yeah, we'll do some research and we'll talk about it next time. But
yeah.
I did see something about that. So
Yeah, I would
not to
I
get
would
too
love to
far
see
off
that.
from closing it, obviously, but I did want to make note of that we don't have a very long break next year, as far as we know.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
I hope it's not an all-star game. So thank you, everybody, for listening. I want to say if you are watching on YouTube or Spotify, anywhere that you can leave comments, leave us some comments. Ask us some questions, and we'll bring them up on here and interact.
We can have your input on our conversations because clearly we're just two guys. We don't play for the Blues. We just like the team and we like the sport. Yep. So anybody else in our situation that want to throw their hat into the ring and have a conversation, let's go. All right. So on that note, we're going to thank Dogtown Pizza for the sponsorship. If you're hungry, go grab one. It takes like 15 minutes and it's a great slice of pie. We'll go ahead and also thank Interstate 70 Sports Media for bringing us out to the masses. And don't forget to spay and neuter your pets.
That's perfect. Yeah, that's great. Love you guys. Let's go Blues.
Let's go Blues.
That's it. Dogtown Pizza. If you haven't had a Dogtown Pizza, you are absolutely missing out. There is nothing better than coming home from work or school or wherever you're stuck at for the day, throwing a Dogtown Pizza into the oven for pretty much no time at all, and enjoying that St. Louis-style greatness. With selections like a classic pepperoni, the 4 meat, the deluxe, and the veggie, there's a perfect pizza for everyone. The best part is knowing you're supporting a local St. Louis business and family. Dogtown Pizza has partnered with our beloved Blues, but also with other prominent St. Louis figures like Steve's Hot Dogs. And it's run by the Shaper family, St. Louisans through and through with a decade in the business. My family and I had 2 of these bad boys today in preparation for this, and they turned out incredible. Just look at that cheese. Bottom line, if you're looking for a pizza you'll love, from a local company you can trust, run by a family you can relate to, go to dogtownpizza.com, find a store near you, and go get one. Thanks again to Dogtown Pizza for sponsoring this podcast. Let's go get a pizza, and let's go Blues. The STL Hockey Fan Podcast is presented by Interstate 70 Sports Media Group. I-70 strives to give you the best sports coverage in the tri-state area. Find them on Facebook or at interstate70sports.media.